sure.
When it comes to meat, do you guys prefer a grass-fed beef or do you like corn-fed? Because I had this discussion with Tony, and he was telling me that he actually liked corn-fed beef. He's like, it's a fattier.
There's two schools of thought, and then there's two schools of what is quality beef.
Right.
So one school will say, yeah, quality beef is organic animal, pasture-raised, eating grass. The flavor's different. It's not as tender, but it is high-quality beef. Okay. Then the other, of course, is, you know, a cow, USDA prime, corn-fed, incredible marbling, ridiculous fat content, restricted motion. I'd say a lesser quality beef, okay, than the other.
But they all start grass-fed, though.
Eating-wise,
They're all pastured at first.
Eating-wise, you know, pound for pound, the corn-fed steak will be more delicious, okay, for some people. And then for some people, the other one will be. In my mind, the grass-fed, organic, pasture beef with its different flavor, for me, is a higher quality animal.
I prefer that taste.
Correct.
I feel it's a richer taste. It's a denser, darker meat.
More that iron taste.
Yeah, I just like it better. And I do like a corn-fed steak. I do like it.
But there is.
But in the general public, the steak-eating public that come to restaurants encounter more corn-fed beef, their first judge of character to the quality of that meat is
marbling,
its tenderness.
tendering.
It's tenderness. It's marbling. It's not tender. It's not tender. That's the reoccurring thing that we fight with every day at Joe Beef.
Why don't they just
juicy
eat foie
and
gras?
tender.
Just eat a 16-ounce foie gras.
I know.
If they just want tender.
I know.
I mean, what are they looking for?
Tender.
You can also
it's not
have like,
tender.
Don't your teeth work?
When we get a steak sent
Exactly.
back, it'll be because
It's too tough?
yeah, or no, exactly. It's not. I would usually go to this steakhouse, and it's more tender.
Because you're serving a grass-fed steak.
Serving a grass-fed steak that's not as marbled as its non-organic.
Well, it's an animal that's
Corn-fed
healthy.
But you can also have.
It's an upgrade fella. It's like the natural wine versus conventional wine fight, right? That we're having. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also. We're calling it binary now. It's like it's only corn or it's only grass. No, I think the solution is maybe a little bit of corn, a little bit of barley, but mostly grass-fed. You know, a brief finish in like quality grains. Why not?
And then there's
You
a
know?
whole other point. Like I'd like to raise.
Not giant feedlot.
I like to sell beef in my restaurant that comes from very close to my restaurant. You know,
Yeah.
when we opened Joe Beef at the beginning, when the first book was written, beef was a problem back then. You know, local beef was kind of difficult, and you know, we were buying beef from larger wholesalers, and if we didn't know how to read the barcodes on the boxes, they would say it was Canadian beef, but
Yeah,
it
it's
might
from
not
Australia.
be Canadian beef. It might be northern USA beef, but we didn't know because only a professional could read the barcode. But they were saying it was Canadian. But one day I had a professional come into the restaurant and he said, no, actually this beef is from a company with investitures in Canada, but this is from Western Australia. And I said, I don't want to serve anything in my restaurant from Western Australia. That's super far.
Yeah.
You know, this like remove beef from the menu or seek alternatives.
But it's a business that's complex because there's pastures and feedlots, slaughterhouse and packers, right? And it's not like we have lambs. Get a baby lamb that come from the parents' lamb, and then they raise the lamb and they bring it to the slaughterhouse themselves, and then we get a lamb. Beef is like it's like tracing bourbons, you know? It's like trading and brokerage and stuff, and we're not.
It's the most sketchy item on a restaurant menu. Like I know that I bought lamb from you, and I know I bought rabbit from, Beatrice, and I know I got goat cheese from this family, and all of the products in my restaurant, I know exactly the farm, the farmer. Beef is always dicey because beef always goes to the packer. Beef always goes to the distributor. Beef, And the general public only really eats 2 cuts of beef in restaurants, 3 cuts, the tenderloin, the what do you call it in English, the entrecôte.
Yeah, the loins. The
loins and the
tenderloin,
rib, right? That's what people eat. But
and the hamburgers.
The beefs are not that, There's 2 big humps, and there's 2 big shoulders, and there's a lot of braise. So, it's difficult.
Listen,
did you guys see that documentary on steak?
Yeah,
we were in it.
We were in it.
That's right. That's right. You were in it, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Their conclusions and.
What was the conclusion?
Well, just what they basically were saying that Peter Luger's Steakhouse in Brooklyn is the greatest steak in the world. That was
USDA prime, corn-fed
for taste,
but
maybe.
It's good. It's a good restaurant.
Good story, good history, great restaurant.
Good steak. I ate there just a few months ago. It's very good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, but again, it's a subjective thing, right? The
Correct.
flavor in terms of like what you actually look for, and as they were talking about, like your customer was saying, they're accustomed to a certain type of meat. Like they were saying that their customers are accustomed to this. They're not interested in grass-fed anything.
Yeah, but I understand that. They've been doing that for a long time and grading that beef that way, and I don't think they should change ever, not based on anything, right?
No, well, it's a great place where you get consistency. I mean, you go there, you get this fantastic steak. It's so old worldy too. When you get in there, how long has Peter Luger's been around for?
God, forever.
Forever. Yeah. It's
120 years. Or?
Something insane like that.
And they get the
Moishes is like that in Montreal. It's a very old steak restaurant. Moishes is a famous restaurant in Montreal, and they do have their beef program, and they should not change because there's new conversations happening. He knows what he's doing, Lenny Leiter, and he should keep on doing that.